I'm Michelle Graves, your host on today's segment of The Power of Money. I'm glad to have you here. Now, at The Power of Money, we are interested in three things happening. First, we want you to get the necessary education so that you and your family can make the decisions that will impact positively on you in your financial life. The second thing is that you be empowered to prosper. I only want the best for you. And you can only get that if you have education and then the drive to make it happen. And the third thing that is so important to me is that you recognize that life is more than a journey and that you be energized so that you can begin to participate in the truly joyous experience of living. So, here's to empowerment, here's to education, and here's to energy. I'm Michelle Graves, your host, Power of Money. And welcome to today's segment of The Power of Money with your host, Michelle Graves, affectionately known for the last 40 years as the Money Lady, both local, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And I'm honored to have you as a part of my world for the next hour. We've got an incredible show. I'm going to be interviewing one of the top players in the music industry, African-American woman who is very seasoned and knowledgeable, to open up the world of music. And this is an issue that I think is so important because music literally is the driving force behind everything. Doesn't matter what part of the world you live in, music is the stimulator. And so she's been on the cutting edge. I interviewed her previously, but I'm really interested in delving deeper into what she does and what the industry is doing during these very transitional times. So without further ado, she's coming to us by way of Zoom out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Her name is Maya Richardson. She is the CEO of a music group worldwide, and she's going to be talking about the music industry and what it is and what it is not. So by way of Zoom, here we go. Maya, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I appreciate you coming on at such an early hour for you all. You all are on West Coast time coming out of Las Vegas. But if you could begin to just tell my viewing audience a little bit about your background and who you are, and just to familiarize them with you as a person and a personality.
Well, thank you so much. I'd like to make a slight correction. My company name is Music Group Entertainment, LLC. And we've
Okay.
been in business for going on now 19 years. Started my company out of New York City. And from there, we started out developing or booking small acts in Alphabet City. We expanded then from independent artists going into international, and then later we just became a completely international celebrity booking agency. And we've continued to develop and grow in these past years since 2014, 2004, and moving forward, we're still growing. We now are developing artists for record labels, and that's what I do for a living.
So do you feel that you had the requisite academic and training to go into the world of music? Was there something in your background that prompted you to know that this was what you were destined to do?
All my life, I've always wanted to be in music and been in music, and I went to the School of Creative Performing Arts in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then after I left there, I traveled all over the world performing myself until I found my niche in booking and just developing relationships and watching these new celebrities grow. Um, it's been an exhausting and challenging journey, but I wouldn't change anything.
So, may I ask what made you move from New York to Las Vegas?
It was this time. I lived here previously before when I after I came home from living in China, living there abroad, and then I went to Atlanta, and it just wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it. So then I relocated to Las Vegas. Now Las Vegas has been my home permanently for the past 3 years. I don't think that I'll ever leave.
Is
It's just a place of growth, and it's a place where people can be free to organize and grow their business and meet people from all over the world, because Las Vegas is the stomping ground of the world.
is that particularly relevant for entertainment? Did you say?
Well, I think that I think it's just relevant for every kind of business and everything. It's not just entertainment, it's just business. It's like one of the places that you go to, it's a 45-minute flight from LA, and the flights are way cheaper. And this is where people just come to organize and do business here freely. So I guess it would be in the entertainment industry, but not just the entertainment industry, all over any kind of industry, actually.
I was curious because when we talk about hotspots for new artists in the United States and increasingly global, do you see Las Vegas, Nevada as being a hotspot as opposed to New York or Atlanta or even Detroit and Chicago?
Uh, each one of those cities has a purpose in the entertainment industry, and sometimes they're hotter than others. I believe that Las Vegas is going to be the forefront. As you can see, the Usher residency is here, and it's been doing great. You have who else is coming here? Adele will be here doing her residency, and there's a lot of
Adele is coming to Las Vegas.
yeah, she'll be here. There's just a lot of celebrities that are moving here to make their living because it's affordable, and it's we have a wonderful new stadium here, one of the biggest in the world, and I think that a lot of people are going to relocate just because of the convenience of it all.
That's very, very interesting because I had thought at one point that it might be Atlanta as
It
a
used to be Atlanta.
oh
It hasn't been Atlanta for a long time.
that
I've been
is
in Atlanta for a long time. I mean, at one point, it was regarded as one of the forefront places for African Americans to do business and to settle in. But it's no longer that case. People are moving more for comfort and for affordability. And Atlanta is not really an affordable place to live.
wow. That's information. So, what it, if a person had this itch to sing, because we watch American Idol and all these different showcases for young artists, and we don't get the backstory on that. All we do is get to hear them sing, and the judges show their opinions and whatnot. But how can you tell me what it takes to become a successful singer? Because I get that query all the time from people that know of my relationship with you, and I just tell them it's very, very hard. I watched you, and I can just say it's very, very hard. Do you have some comments and some input on this that would help them?
The industry has changed so much over the years. It used to be that the labels could go and pick out an artist and develop them. But nowadays, They do not develop any artists at all. And
None.
there's a lot of independent artists that are out here making their ways by via TikTok and social media. And that's really what's running now the entertainment industry is the algorithm of the computers and the social medias. It depends on how popular you are. And it doesn't really matter where you live anymore. It's about how many likes that you get and how many people that follow you to pass along your music and your skill. And that's basically with everything. Things have just changed completely and it's gone digital most of the time. You don't see anybody picking up any CDs or anything like that. What's the point? You have a link. You either have a link or you have an MP3 or you have something where it's driven by an algorithm, like Spotify or Tidal or Apple. These things and podcasts usually run the music industry. We still have the bigger machines like Universal Records, Sony, Warner Brothers, um, Def Jam, Arista, not Arista, I'm sorry, what is that? Atlantic. There are a lot of things that are in the forefront right now, and they still have the machine to run it and do a lot of your marketing. But the labels look really hard for people that already have those things going so that they are not wasting their money and their time with an artist that cannot produce the type of numbers that they want to have.
Is it a numbers game?
It's always been a numbers game, but now it's more crucial.
Okay, so if a person, why, when would they need someone like you to be involved?
I'm a developer mostly now. I used to, at one point, my whole income was based off of a booking, but at the climate of the world now, and it's just getting back now, it's getting back to where you can book, but for a long time with the coronavirus and COVID going amongst with everything, um, you had a lot of people not traveling, and so that sort of put me out of commission for a very long time. So I had to make do with other things, and developing artists is something that I'm really good at, and that I enjoy with writing music for artists and also going over their looks and everything, and just developing a whole script for the artist so that they can be seen.
So developing the artist is taking an experienced or exposed artist and
No,
okay,
taking an artist that does not have exposure and making the and putting funds and developing them into an artist that's worthy of being watched so that the labels or anybody else can now invest in this artist. They don't invest in undeveloped artists anymore, and they used to develop the
wow.
artist. Now they do not do that anymore.
So give me an example of an undeveloped artist that a record label made successful.
An undeveloped artist?
Yeah, that in the olden days, would that be like an Aretha Franklin or
I mean, every artist that was out back in the day was undeveloped, and the label took them and they taught them how to dance. They gave them clothes, taught them
wow.
how to dress, all that stuff. They were developing an artist. They were developing an image. Every artist had that, but now I don't know when the change came precisely, but they faded that out because they were losing a lot of money. Artists went and had drugs, or they had
Oh,
problems with their
wow.
family, or they were dying, or something like that. Which the investment wasn't a good bet anymore. So what they started doing was putting their money into development of the artist and picked artists that were already developed.
Okay, and the development process was internet based or was it them going to different venues? I mean, if they've got it self developed and they are barely making it, I mean, they've got
You have to
talent.
have somebody to believe in you to put those funds in there, or you have your own money and you hire people to help develop you to get to that next level. And at which point, if you have money nowadays, you don't really need the machine to do it. You can do it on your own, but you just need experienced people that have done it before.
So let me be clear, because there was a time when I talked to you many, many years ago when you talked about this machine, the bank. You called it the bank.
Well, it
And
is a bank.
it is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, to go and elaborate, because people probably don't even know what that is.
Back in the day, they were run on 360 deals, and that's when the label basically took most of the money that your albums made, whether you made a certain percentage, maybe you made like maybe 3 or 4 cents on the dollar or whatever, but the rest of the money would go to the bank because they placed the labels because they place their money into developing you with clothing, marketing, promotions, with uh, sending you overseas and everything for and those a lot of those things that you didn't get paid for them. They were helping to push your record. They had relationships with clubs and everything like that. These are things that the label takes care of where you didn't have to. Now you have to get all those things yourself. You have to get your own
Whoa.
and everything. Now you have to go get your own monies to develop, and it takes to make a superstar to really market and take a superstar. It takes a lot of money. Take upwards to 500,000 to $1 million of your own personal money to make that happen. And then you have to go ahead and get for the numbers for your artist. And if you don't have enough numbers, no matter how good you are, if you don't have the followers, then
Oh,
the labels,
wow.
nobody will invest in you because they don't know if you're a viable product for them to market because nobody's listening to you in their eye.
Ooh, that is significant. So let me be clear, and audience listen in. To start with, when it says you got talent, talent is not as important as all the other pieces that in olden days, the bank or the record label, they carried all of that. They took the risk, and in return, they got most of the money that the artist made because they took the risk,
Well,
right?
they took a risk and you got rich, and how you invested your money and how you invested that loan that they gave you
Whew.
is that's on you. And a lot of times when these artists got a big sum of money, was for marketing. It was for all this other stuff that you were supposed to do. And they bought houses and they bought cars and they wasted their money so that they didn't have anything to market their product. And the label doesn't care about that. They want their money back. you know,
So if a
you
person,
have an interest on the money if you don't pay that back. And if you don't pay them back, they'll probably just shelve you and you'll never be able to work with any other one until you pay them back because they're not going to sign you off of the label. It's called shelving the artist.
whoo-wee. So may I ask, is this what Prince was talking about and Michael Jackson, where they were captive to these banks?
Yes, definitely. They didn't want to be
Jeez.
captive to Sony, and that's who they were talking about at that time. And they wanted to be able to have their own monies and off their own coalition because they were well-known artists, but they were still enslaved to these labels that told them that they had to develop a certain amount of records before they were able to even think about getting out of their contract.
Whoa. So they were tied contractually and legally into a relationship that ultimately took care of the bank, even if it
They made a lot
destroyed.
of money off of these artists, and they didn't have a way out until they finished with a certain amount of numbers and sales for them to get out of their contract.
I got it. I didn't really understand why they were so upset about being enslaved. Because you look at them, Prince was mega billionaire. Michael J was mega. I mean, what is the issue? And I guess from what you're saying, the issue was control.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Music really moves the world, and it actually, most of the time, you could say it can control the aspects of what people do and say based off of music. It's a very powerful tool that companies can use to their will. And these people did not want to be under that control anymore. Because they had been for so long, since they were teenagers, and Michael Jackson, since he was a child, been under control of different record labels, and they wanted to be able to decide on how and when and where they were to do certain things without being tied to touring 24/7, because that really is the only way an artist makes the majority of the money, unless you're a writer or a producer like what Prince was. He had a little bit more control than Michael. Michael didn't write his music,
Wow.
or he was given music and everything. I think later on he started to write, but the majority of his music was written by other people.
So explain how that chain works. So you're an artist, you basically are trying to get your name out and pushing through videos and pushing through tours and followers, and then you still have to deal with your presentation like clothes and how do you make any money?
Barely.
No, you know
But
I'm a money person,
barely. I
Maya.
mean,
Come on now.
that's what the machine is actually for. Honestly, you should be able to get paid four ways in the music industry. Um, Not only just from royalties and from the labels, but you have systems like BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, who collect royalties for you when people perform or your songs, or if it's heard on the radio. Their job is to collect all that data and collect the monies from the organizations. Like, for instance, on your show, if you were to play a song, you would need to have the rights for that song, or and they would come and collect um, on the show. If you did not get permission for that, well, then here comes a facilitator of the bank to collect
The
money from you
facilitator of the
because you did
bank.
not get permission to play that song.
Oh my
and
words. Oh
and
my words.
and that's usually why, if you're on Facebook or Instagram and you play a song, and then all of a sudden a big boop pops up like, we're going to mute the sound because you had no permission to play this song. I don't know if it's happened to you, but it happens to many people.
Yes, it has happened. And not on television, but it definitely did happen on my radio show. And I was completely perplexed because
Well, there you go. That's the bank. That's the bank coming
how
for
in the
you.
world do they
They're
monitor?
collecting you now.
They're letting
Because you're
you
playing a
know.
song that you did not get permission to play on a station that's gaining money, and it's gaining money because you are playing a song that they did not give you permission to play.
Whoa. So, the song that we're going to play,
I give you permission
you
because I wrote
gave me
that song.
permission. Oh, I was going to be like, I do
I
not
wrote that
need this
song.
in my world right now.
And I
I
own
just
the
said,
rights to that
okay,
song,
you
so
gave
there
me
you
rights to
go.
play this song.
Hmm.
Okay.
I will not charge you.
You will not charge me. Well, thank you. I really appreciate, as a banker, not having to deal with the bank or BMI or whatever I still remain confused as to how they know all these songs are being played all over the world. How is this possible? Is this AI? Is this digital? Is this what's happening
No,
today?
they've been collecting before AI. They just know. They
They
know.
just,
I mean, you have to have a report, of what songs are being played, and clearly you can hear a song being played, and their job is to hear those songs that you are playing, so that they can make money as well. Because if they once they're paying me, they're charging me for the service of collecting from you.
this is, whew,
Yes.
do-wee, and I'm not a banker. I'm a player. These people are bankers. So may I ask you, the collateral is the song? Is the song the collateral? Or is the artist the collateral?
The body of work is the collateral, and
Jeez.
the body of work is not just, it's about who is listening to you, how many people are listening, and how far is their reach. And that's what your whole goal is, to reach across the world. I mean, because no matter what, just thinking about it, you have in China, there's billions of people.
Yep.
If you have one song playing there and they're collecting all over just that one region, it doesn't matter if you're if you get a few coins or something. It's just the addition of all those people that are listening, and it's getting airtime that you're getting paid based off of that. But the artist normally doesn't get paid from those things in the background. The label does. The labels and the people that put it together get that done. The artist gets paid mostly off of touring.
Oh,
And
but that's so
that's a very
grueling.
important part.
But
It's
that's so
well,
grueling. I mean, that's
well,
hard.
if you
That's
love what you do, it's not hard.
who-wee. If you
I mean,
love
that's
what you
why
do, this not
the
hard.
agent, the 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 industry, it's people's dream. I don't believe for myself, if I wasn't involved in music, that I'd probably be alive. And that's such a strong statement to say. But if you take music away from certain people that develop and hear it in their heads, and I don't think that it would be possible for them to be them. Um, it's just something that's attached. If you love what you're doing, and it's like air that you're breathing, then why would you have a problem with sharing that air with the world?
That's not my challenge. My challenge is that people are making profit, serious, over the top profit off of the creativity that God gave man. Those
No, we
songs
can say the
that
same
are
thing
in
for
your
you. You're
head,
on television right now, and whatever you gain from getting your focus and everything, you're making money off of that. I mean, everybody makes money off of something that they do, whether it's their talent or whether it's something that they have to do. That's how the world works. We
but
just
does
are in a different sector.
but does it work with people getting paid for your
Depends on
creativity?
what you have. Do you have the money to get yourself out there to market yourself? Do you have the clientele? Do you have the connections to get out there and showcase you can be a singer all you want. You can sing in the shower all you want. But who is going to broadcast that for you to make an income for you? Do you know how to do it?
Well, most don't
That
seem
is
to
why
know how
these
to do it.
that's why these companies make so much money. It's not because I told you before, 10 years ago when I was on this show, I told you that there is more business in the music industry than music.
Wow. So the business of music is greater than music.
Always, it has always has been. Business is always greater because that's how you make your money. And they find a person like, for instance, my artist, he contacted me. I was retired from doing this stuff, and he contacted me on LinkedIn. And I was like, what does this kid want? I'm not even in doing this anymore. I had completely gotten out of doing what I was doing. And I was enjoying my life in Las Vegas, sipping Mai Tais by the pool and everything. But this kid, um, he was homeless in Nigeria, and I didn't talk to him professionally or anything for 6 months. He was hitting me up, and I'm like, why is he hitting me up? I'm not even advertising that I do this stuff, but my curiosity after that got the better of me. And it turned out that he was a star. And I was like, now what do I do? What was going to be my decision? Am I going to work with this young man and lose the majority of all the money that I've saved after getting back on my feet? Or was I just going to let him float and have somebody else discover him, and then they make millions of dollars and I'm sitting there like, ugh. And I think I pondered about taking him in and working with him about a week, and I just couldn't pass it up. I worked with him overseas for about a year and a half, and he's getting now recognition. But it takes a long time. But once you see talent in front of you, and you know that it's there and for the taking, you just don't let it sit. You have to go ahead and work with it to make it greater.
Well, let me share with you and viewers. We're going to take a pause, and we're going to let you watch Maya Richardson's latest development of an artist. And this young man lives in Nigeria, extremely talented, extremely confident, and she just came back from Nigeria, which we'll talk about after we air this segment, so that you can see her latest artist and why she thinks he's going to be a phenomenal person, a phenomenal artist in the genre of music called Afrobeats. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to go back to the interview with her. So just pause for a minute, and here we go.
You know, you know, you know, you know, you know.
Star. She like a goddess, so she say that she could pray for me. She wants me to get down on my knees and make her scream. But I cannot do it, cause my life depends on it. She wants me to go, she wants me to go away. Can you please make a way for me? But I cannot do it, cause my life depends on it. Can you please make a way for me? But I know if you do, cause my life depends on it. No fit do, cause it depends on it. Cause my life depends on it. Shooting on the devil's reaper, but have no soul, and that one go take me whole life. Shouldn't take the venom. Now I'm needing morphine. I should go run the streets. Took a while to set me free. Can you please make a way for me? But I cannot do it, cause my life depends on it. Can you please make a way for me? But I know if you do, cause my life depends on it. No fit do, cause it depends on it. Cause my life depends on it. Cause my life depends on it. Cause my life depends on it.
You know.
Okay, we're glad to be back. I'm sure you were absolutely fascinated with this young man, and I'm talking with again Maya Richardson, who is CEO of Music Group Entertainment, a company she started almost 20 years ago. She's headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, and she is transitioned from a booking agent to a developer. And she's been sharing with us the innards of the music industry, including the bank, and just some things that we as normal consumers don't know. And so we're back. Glad to have you back again, Ms. Richardson.
Thank you.
Tell me about this young man.
Well, he's a 27-year-old young Nigerian male he was born in Benin City, Nigeria, but he resides in Lagos, which is the hub of the music industry in Nigeria.
Now stop right there. Stop right there, because we need to talk about this. I know you've been to China. I know you brought a girl group to China, and that was an experience in mainland China. And and I know you just came back from Nigeria. And how was that experience, and how was that connected with this young man?
I had a ball in Nigeria. Everybody was warning me not to go at the particular time that I went because it was during election week and everything. I went a week before election week, and I had no real issues except that they were changing over their currency, and so I don't understand what goes on because I'm not a Nigerian or something. But during that time, it was very hard to find the naira, which is like comparison to our dollar. And I had to use my credit card, and not even all of them were used. If you ever have any kind of debit cards like Cash App or Vivo, you can't use those overseas, just to let people know.
Oh.
Even though it functions as a credit card here, it only functions as a credit card here in the United States. You can't utilize or transfer anything over until you get back to the United States.
Wow.
So that was an issue. But luckily, I had taken cash out just in case of emergencies and placed it in a Nigerian, one of my Nigerian bank friends' bank accounts, so that whenever I needed something, they could go ahead and withdraw and get the things that I needed. But you always have to, when you go overseas, you have to be prepared for things like that because you just don't know. But I made sure that I was in one of the best hotels, that I wasn't going to be affected by the lighting system because their electricity goes off sporadically throughout the day. It could go out for sometimes 24, 48 hours and you not have any electricity in the main areas like the mainland and everything. But I stayed on the island of Victoria Island, which is right next to Lakey Island. And they have little islands on the side of Nigeria, on by Lagos, that you cross a bridge and you're on different islands and everything.
That is
different
amazing.
provinces.
I didn't know
And
that.
a lot of people don't even know
I didn't know that.
that was possible. There's beaches, it's beautiful. I stayed in a wonderful place called the Echo, and I'm not trying to promote them or anything like that, but it was decent. And I had a ball. They treated me wonderful. The locals were wonderful to me. I didn't have any problems at all.
So how did this tie into, did you go over there for business? It's my
Yeah, I
understanding.
went over there for TSC Able. We were working on the Mona Lisa video, and we were also doing some marketing and radio interviews. And the last time we did a video, I could not make it at that time, but I said for the next video I was going to be there to represent my artist, and I was really diligent in trying to get there. And I had a wonderful sponsor that took care of the expenses, and it was an awesome thing to physically be in the motherland, and also working there and working with people that looked like me, and carried themselves with very, very high regard, and I was happy to be around them.
I from the pictures and the live videos you sent back to the USA, which is another technological thing, because who would have thought 10 years ago or even 5 years ago that you would be over there sending live videos. We watched you, and you're interviewing and all of the above. What is the future of Afro beats in the United States?
Afrobeats has been here forever. It was used, Afrobeats itself was used as a music for peace, and lively. Martin Luther King used it.
Really?
Malcolm X used it. Yes, and it's so funny because a lot of our music is based off of Afrobeat. But you just never knew. You probably thought that it was from the Caribbean and everything,
Right.
but everything originates from the motherland in the first place. And it's just the structure of beats and everything, and how you move and how music is structured. I just believe that Afrobeats is here now to stay, just like how there was a revolution for hip hop. This is a now revolution for African music, and it's spreading like wildfire. I predicted this many years ago. I said this was going to happen, and it's happening now. I'm just excited to see it, and I'm excited to have artists that are attached to me now to move forward in the future.
Now, is he your only artist
No.
with the Afrobeat? Okay, thank you.
No, I'm developing another, but he's the only one that I have out right now. but I'm in the process of developing a female artist. And the
Female.
yes, very, very talented. She was a part of the Voice Nigeria, and she was one of the finalists there. And I'm very, very happy to be developing her soon. Um, just it's just being a part of a wave that's exciting, that's new. Um, hip hop has grown increasingly aggravating to many people, and it's quite expensive. And I do believe the industry is shifting because of that.
What do you mean by that?
I,
What do you
I
mean by
was
that? What
well, there's a lot of violence dealing with hip hop,
okay.
where hip hop used to be at one point. There were some violent, some uh, um, expressions and everything that were going around from the different neighbors. But then you had people that were intellectually rapping and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's all phased out. And you have a new type of rap, whatever the generation is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I listen to things that my parents didn't want me to listen to back then. And then when as time goes on, the music has developed into something else. My job is to keep on top of all music on all generations, no matter what my age is. And I'm 48 years old, and I've seen a lot, but I'm pretty sure that you've seen a lot of music, develop over the years, and some things that you're not liking. But I believe that now that the nature of hip hop is that these noted artists that are famous and everything, extreme, they are dying at a rapid rate. They're being killed on the streets. They're being targeted. And this is not good for the industry. So, what they've collectively decided to do was to push back the promotion and marketing of the hip hop industry and now push another industry forward to develop them, and that is Afrobeats.
Okay, I get it now. Well, why is it taking them so long to see the light? Because
They were making a lot of money.
I guess I had no idea
They
that.
were making
Ooh,
billions of dollars
yeah.
with hip hop, and hip hop's not going anywhere. It's just that they're pushing forward and pushing that back in the background because it's being highlighted so much. The deaths are being highlighted, and nobody wants to take a chance with concerts, which is the reason why where artists make their money is because they have to tour. Well, if the insurance rates or if the insurance companies are looking at deaths and looking at all the problematic things going in the clubs, uh, then they choose to make the rate much higher. So now the promoter has to pay a higher amount of money to even get them in to this venue or this location, and it causes a lot of problems. Florida, I know that Florida has a ban on hip hop in live venues now. They just don't want the riffraff anymore.
Okay.
And,
Even if the
and so,
riffraff has money?
well, they're losing money now.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're losing
How
money,
they,
then that's not going
so
to happen.
if I'm losing money, if I'm not making a profit anymore, then why do I need you?
Right, right, right. So, as we are transiting into this not new genre, but resurrected genre of Afro beats, are there any other music moves that are taking place in the international market that we need to be aware of? I know that America had always taken pride in its leadership role in new ideas, new music concepts, that type of thing. Are you seeing any kind of a shift?
Well, there was Afrobeat, which was the traditional, and then now there's Afrobeats with the S. And the Afrobeats is because it's a mixture of hip hop and R&B.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it's easily relatable to. You're not going so far in that you don't you're not feeling the type of music and everything, but it's introducing a traditional look on music. That's the reason why Afrobeats is such a popular genre right now.
Okay.
I mean, it hit really hard in the UK and
Really?
Europe before it even got here to America. And there are so many ones, different like Ama Piano that comes out of South Africa. That's an Afrobeat that's mixed with South African traditional beats.
Okay.
So that's we've tapped on that in our music as well with TSC Able. But I could only release a certain amount of songs right now. But it's coming. We have a new EP coming out soon.
So are there,
That'll have three more singles on there. But I decided to do it individually just to get a feel of what people want to hear from him.
right. So may I ask you, because you were in China, mainland, um, are the Chinese and other people lining up and curious? Because the Chinese are early adapters. I mean, you know that. They get it and they get it fast. But are they showing a level of interest in this genre?
It's all over. It's worldwide now.
Oh, wow.
Worldwide now, and with like any industry and everything, it doesn't. If America and Europe catch on to something, then usually the whole world will be
Line up.
listening, dancing to it, and everything else. And there are several people that have won Grammys. The majority of for the past 2 years has been Afrobeat, the leading
Really?
the people that are getting Grammys are Afrobeat now. So it's worldwide now.
Oh, good. That is absolutely good information. The only reason I brought it up is because I guess I'm a little behind. I finally watched the Netflix with Beef with the Chinese actors, and you lived over there. I live. They are so they just off the chart. Period. Off the chart. And I just knew, given this genre, that they would be early adopters. They could get to it and probably imitate it, right?
They have. I think I saw. I don't know if I think it was Korea. There's Korea has
Koreans
an
are, that's
Afrobeat.
it. They do it too.
Korea has an Afrobeat artist right now.
A
Korean Afrobeat
Korean
artist.
Afrobeat artist. The world
So
is an interesting place.
it's just an amazing genre that's taking shape right now. I'm really happy for it.
Well, I will tell you, I love it. That's myself. I love this young man. My favorite is the antidote. The antidote. Yeah, the beat, all of that is just so absolutely amazing. But I must say that, so what's left over here are American artists adopting this as well, or are they just still hanging on to the familiar?
Like I said, you hear the Burner Boys, the first Nigerian to sell out Madison Square Garden in under an hour.
Who is that?
He's amazing artist. Then you have Tim, who won the first Nigerian artist to Nigerian Afrobeat artist to ever win a Grammy. She won this year.
What's her name again?
TEMS Tim's.
Okay.
And there's so many Fireboy. You have Ashake. There's so many artists out there that are gaining. There's CK. There's so many different ones that are gaining recognition out here right now. The biggest one is Wizkid. He pretty much brought Afrobeat to the West and made it popular. And he's an amazing artist. There's so many people that that are out here right now, that are doing their things. Females gaining a lot of power and recognition from Afrobeats, coming in very strong. He was
Now, do they
savage.
have to deal? Do they have to deal with the bank too?
Everybody has to deal with them.
Gosh, everybody.
It's not a hidden thing. They know what they're doing.
So even with this genre, they still have to deal with development costs, promotion costs, tours, BMI, and money.
Most definitely.
So at
And
the
if
end of
you
the
know
day,
Nigeria, they have their own Nigerian system too.
oh my,
So
they got the bank in Nigeria as well. Tell me,
yeah,
no,
different ones, yeah,
I'm in the
different
wrong
labels and
country.
everything.
I'm in the wrong country. I'm in the wrong country. I need to be a banker over there. That is unbelievable. So they have, again, the same, it's a system. That's what I'm saying. With this, even the Whiz Kid and all these people, they can't get popular on social media and then launch into a label. Is that how that works?
Wizkid's story is different. He was already doing his thing in Nigeria. I think that there were people here in the United States that helped him get a foothold in the West to push his music out, and
Okay.
from there he helped other Nigerians to be exposed, like the latest Thames. She worked very heavily with Wizkid to get her Grammy.
Wow. Well, you know what? I just got a nod from our producer here, and our time is wrapping up. I want to thank you personally for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule and your commitments to give us a glimpse into the world of music so that many of our young stars and starlets, music stars that are emerging will at least have an understanding of what it takes, because one thing that I remain convinced is that this is a tough business and a lot of people fry out and burn out, and then the bank the bank. But I want to thank you for contributing this day, and look forward to talking to you soon in Vegas.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And to those of you that are viewing in today's segment of The Power of Money with Michelle Graves, and we're talking with CEO Maya Richardson, who is of Music Group Entertainment International clientele and developing artists. You can reach out to her by website, musicgroupentertainment.com. And
No,
is that right?
no, it's the Music Group Worldwide. No, no, sorry, the musicgroupworld.com. That's my
Okay.
website, Music Group
Okay.
World.
So it's the Music Group World.com.
.com.
That's fine. We just want to make sure they know how to reach out to you if they have questions or levels of interest. And again, I thank you so much for being a part of my world, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be a part of yours. Thank you so much,
All
and
right,
God
thank
bless
you.
you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.